I'm just gonna ask you some of these questions, and
Okay.
they're gonna be kind of funny, so you could just answer as you will.
Okay.
I want to give a quick shout out to our friends at Sticker Savages for sponsoring this episode of the podcast. More about them in a little bit. Stay tuned. Can you do any hard tricks?
No. I can do a popcorn.
Whoa, it's funny that you even know the name of that.
Yeah.
So funny story behind that is I've been trying to get Dani to do a video where I'm teaching you some tricks. And 2020 lockdown, I teach her how to popcorn in my garage.
Oh my God.
Fantastic video. Everyone would have loved it. Would have been the greatest video I ever made. But what happened with that video?
I looked disgusting.
She looked beautiful as
Extremely
she
fat.
always does.
I had a massive double chin, which this is exactly why I'm not going to be watching this podcast back. I looked gross. And I would never, ever let that see the light of day.
Yeah. She looked completely gorgeous, as she always does. And I have no idea what she's talking about. But, happy wife, happy life.
There you go.
So I just said, fine. This
But I
is
can-
an incredible skateboard video.
What people probably don't know, which is interesting, is I was learning. I mean, I can ride around really well.
Yeah.
But remember that time?
I do remember that time. Tell
No
the story.
helmet. No helmet. I was learning how to... Go ahead. You go ahead.
We're in the Braille house. She's riding around. And I say, put a helmet on. This is not safe. You need to be wearing a helmet. And she's like, no, I'm not going to wear a helmet. And I'm like, please, honey, please put on a helmet. And she's like, I've got this. I don't need your advice. And I'm like, I'm the sponsored skateboarder from the San Francisco Bay Area. You must listen to what I have to say. So she gets to the top of the ramp, drops in, whoom, crack, hits her head on the ground.
I literally thought I was going to die.
Hit her head
I
so
thought
hard.
for sure I was bleeding.
So please,
But I
people,
wasn't.
Please
Always use a helmet.
wear a helmet.
I wish we had the footage of that
We do have the
to
footage.
put in there.
We do have the footage.
You're allowed to show people if
Nobody's
you
going
want.
to see that.
Okay. It's terrifying.
Yeah, it is. And you just
But I'm
shouldn't-
okay.
Yeah, you were totally
But
fine.
always wear a helmet.
I think you also had maybe your hair in some kind of a bun situation that might have helped the impact a little bit.
I don't remember.
I don't know either, but anyways. Okay, here's a good question from the audience. Why your husband so cool?
Because he's married to me.
That
Obviously.
is the truth.
Okay.
Does Aaron ever teach you how to skate?
Yes. But not really.
That's true. Okay, this one. Ooh, I don't know. You're going to like this question. What is a big family life goal of yours and Aaron's?
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's
good.
intense.
Yeah, good.
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I think that we both want to create a very big impact on the world for good. I mean, yeah.
What does that mean?
What does that mean? I mean, I think the way that this is really hard to explain.
It's a really hard question.
It is a hard question. I mean,
It
I
makes
know
me
the
think of something
answer.
entirely different.
Well, what's your answer?
Well, it makes me think of we talk about having kids all the time. We are not having kids right now. There's no plan to have kids, but we talk about it all the time. And now we have these two wonderful dogs. They basically become our children.
Yeah.
We basically treat them as our children. But yeah, I don't know. We're still in this kind of mindset of we might have kids. We don't totally know. But I think we're just trying to create as positive of an impact as we can, as big as we can. And I think what that really goes back to is we were talking about that, meeting all the kids in the UK.
Yeah.
And I've done a lot of meet and greets and met a lot of kids, did the whole all-terrain tour, etc. And I do my best to have a positive impact wherever I go.
Right.
Whether that's just me saying you can land the kickflip or anything else. But I think it really comes back to that.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. I mean, obviously, yeah, I don't really know what to say about that.
So you're going to have kids or not? See, this is...
Is that one of the questions?
No.
Oh. I don't know, honestly. I don't know. I think if I were to give my real point of view,
Yeah.
which I don't know, I don't really care like what people think about it.
Yeah.
I think that we are living in a very, very tumultuous world right now. I think that, I mean, obviously, like I wasn't around before 1988, so I
Yeah.
couldn't really tell you how my experience in this world now compares to others
Sure.
before me. But what I see is like a lot of division. I see a lot of false information out there. And I see like really just a lot of like, I don't know, what do you call it? I just feel like these are kind of tough times.
Yeah, it's a rough environment for sure.
It is a rough
It's hard
environment.
to say, like, I think about this too. Like, is living in this time and place right now more hard or easier than maybe like
There's
1950 Great Depression era? There's been tough times though. And some part of me goes, well, it's way easier now.
yeah.
You can't just pull up a tutorial on YouTube and learn how to.
For sure. It's way easier and it's way harder in some ways, in my opinion.
Some aspects of
but
it.
at the same time, like there's no way to ever actually answer that question because I wasn't around then.
Yeah. So are you trying to say that you don't want to bring a child into this crazy tumultuous world?
I think that that's definitely crossed my mind. I'm going to be completely bluntly honest. Like it's not, I absolutely love kids. You and I have 5 godchildren.
I know. That's the other thing that makes it hard. We have so many godchildren.
And honestly, I would be open to adopting too. Like it's not that I don't, I am super open to that.
Yeah.
It's not that I wouldn't want to have my own child.
Yeah.
I have very strong views of the world. And I feel like what I want to do with like the platform you've been able to create and like the voice and reach you've been able to create and with what my passions are and like my desire to help mankind. I want to do as much good as I can in this life. And I want to do as much as I can to create a positive influence on a broad scale. So, and I have like very exact things that I, want to do and accomplish. And you obviously know about them, but
like what? You can't just say that and just let the mystery hanging.
I mean, like a big thing, and I didn't bring this up before, but like a big thing is like really educating kids on drugs.
Yeah.
I think that it's one of the most insidious and harmful things that's ever happened to our society. And I think that the drugs that are coming out these days are so insane.
Yeah.
Are so crazy. And I think that there's a lot of misinformation. And especially if there's like people that kids idolize or look up to that gives them any impression that it's okay to do that. I'm not saying that someone can't make their own decision or whatever to do something like that.
Of course they can.
And nor would I ever judge them.
Right.
But I want to make sure that kids are like very well informed before they go down that route.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think it's a major stumbling block in society. I think it's a huge ruin of society.
Right.
And I want to help in whatever way I can to educate kids on drugs. Now, I never did drugs, but I had 3 siblings that did and that were very into drugs. My sister went to rehab. Like I know all about it from a totally different perspective, which I think is partially why I never got into it myself.
Right. Well, I had that same kind of experience, right?
Right.
So along with what I was saying is like my brother was 3 years older than me. He got into drugs and then he got into a lot of drugs.
Yeah.
And he's doing great now. He's totally awesome. I love you, John. If you ever hear this, I really do. But I remember a time very distinctly where he had a very serious talk with me.
Yeah.
And he was like, look, I have done these drugs. You don't do them.
Right.
And I was like, what in the world?
Right.
If you're saying that to me, it's got to be pretty rough.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. So that's a big thing. I mean, I feel like that's a major factor. in why I wouldn't want to bring a kid into this world, but it's not, I don't think that we would be bad. I think we'd be great parents. I think that we could educate our kids very well, but I also feel like if I can help the masses, that might be better than helping one person.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I do.
That might be a super controversial viewpoint, but I don't know. And again, it doesn't mean that we won't have kids. I definitely seriously think about it all the time.
I know every time I talk to somebody about having kids, they're like, Aaron, do it. It will change your entire life.
Yeah, I probably will. But I want to really make a difference.
Yeah. As we are and as you will.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, on that very heavy note, I also want to say, like, the viewpoint is just the viewpoint and the truth is the truth.
Yeah.
And if, whatever. I'm not like in the slightest bit worried about like if somebody wants to say like, well, I'm not going to watch Aaron's video because he doesn't do drugs and I do drugs.
Of course.
Totally fine.
That's fine. Yeah, exactly.
So on that very heavy, serious note, here's a good question for you. How often does Aaron sing "That Girl Is on Fire" in your house?
He never sings it.
It's true.
It's the YouTube mode.
I don't know what happens in the YouTube mode. Sometimes when I'm filming, I just think about various things.
All right, guys.
Yeah, I know. I do that. She just fully called me out.
Enter YouTube mode.
All
right, guys.
Hey, guys. We're very excited today because we're going to bring You Make It, We Skate It. A lot of these we covered. A lot of how do you guys meet?
I hope this isn't boring for people.
Yeah, I hope it's not boring for people either.
Oh,
Leave it in the comments below if this is boring.
I don't care.
Jeez. She doesn't even care. Oh, here's a good one. Favorite thing about each other?
It's a really hard question to answer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's not like one quality or characteristic about you that's my favorite. I just think you're my favorite.
Oh, that's so sweet. Because your butt's my favorite.
No, but really, you're my favorite.
Oh, thanks, babe. You're my favorite too. And your butt. Just kidding. But that reminded me of another thing that I wanted to go over is because sometimes I'm on this big thing where like skateboarding teaches these life lessons.
Yeah.
And through skateboarding, you get to this place where you're like, oh, I've done this 1,000 times. I know if I continue, like, let's say there's a really hard trick that I want to do.
Yeah.
And I know that trick might take me a month to learn. Thousands of attempts. And I will just keep going at that no matter how many injuries, how many falls, how many times I slam. And I would think that this is a good quality. But sometimes you tell me that I'm very stubborn.
Oh, yeah.
And you say, this quality is very bad. And I say, I'm not stubborn. I'm persistent, babe. But is there anything that like you think I've learned from skateboarding that goes over into life that may be good or bad?
I mean, I wouldn't really justify your stubbornness by saying it comes from skateboarding. Okay. I don't think it has anything to do with that.
Yep.
But no, but also so I don't really know how to answer that question. Yeah. I think that it has nothing to do with skateboarding.
That's a good answer.
Yeah.
You think I'm just stubborn, rotten in the worst way?
I think that you've gotten much better.
Oh, really?
Yeah. In like the last year, I think you've gotten much better.
It's funny because every relationship fights. Maybe that's another thing that we should talk about. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, we are in what I would consider a very healthy long-term relationship. I love you more every day than I did the day before.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that we don't get into these knockout, drag-down fights.
Knock down, drag out.
And she's constantly correcting me with the little sayings that I say because I always say them wrong. And then she's like, do you know what that means? And I'm like, not really. I mean, I don't really know. But,
I'm not constantly correcting you, except for right now.
You're the absolute best.
Okay.
But we'll get into these fights, right? Yeah. And I think that's whatever. I don't know what to say more about it than just like sometimes you're in a relationship and sometimes you get in a fight.
Yeah,
that doesn't mean
sometimes it's tough.
Sometimes you might say something that you don't mean.
Yeah.
And sometimes you might need to go back and say, I didn't really mean to say that, and I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I just wanted to throw
in my
that out there.
opinion, once it's said, it's kind of like
Oh yeah, and then
over. There's always a little bit of truth in there.
Oh yeah,
but it's fine.
I don't think there is always a little bit of truth in there.
Right. I
think sometimes you just get really mad and you say something.
Yeah, totally.
And that you really actually truthfully don't mean.
Yeah.
And I saw this meme the other day that was like 99% of fights occur because the person hadn't eaten yet.
Totally.
And that is a big thing as well. And but sometimes that can create the fight. Sometimes she'll be getting like snarky with me and I'll be like, "Are you hungry?"
Yeah.
She'll be like,
"You're not allowed to say that." You can just...
It has nothing to do with food.
You could... I think a solution would just be like, make me a snack. Or make yourself a snack, even better. And be like, "Do you want some?"
Oh, yeah. Make yourself a snack. Like when you go to the place and you're like, "I'm going to get French fries. Do you want any?" No. And then she eats all your French fries.
I don't do that, though.
Never.
No.
Not once. What's going on, everybody? I want to introduce you to a brand new sponsor of ours, Sticker Savages. Sticker Savages is a monthly sticker club that features 10 vibrant waterproof stickers each month, mailed to you in a super trippy collectible box that changes 4 times each year. They work closely with top Instagram artists to bring the dopest stickers in the game, with designs never to be repeated. Since these stickers are waterproof and rated for outdoor use, you can put them anywhere, on your car, your helmet, your water bottle, in the heavily graffitied bathroom in your favorite crusty coffee shop, and even on your skateboard to help you finally land that kickflip down the 4-stair. Again, these stickers are super exclusive. They're printed once and then never printed again. So sick. And Sticker Savage is offering a really great deal for listeners of the podcast. You can join the Sticker Savages today with a coupon code BRAILE for 50% off your first sticker box. Go to bit.ly/Sticker Savages and use the code BRAILE to sign up and get 50% off your first box. That's bit.ly/Sticker Savages and use code BRAILE at checkout. Thanks again, and back to the episode. Okay, here's a good question from Kylie Dawkison.
Oh.
Which direction does she think Braille should go in?
Wow. Okay. I love that question, Kylie Dawkison.
Wow. Thank you so much for being a Braille Army Plus subscriber.
So here's what I think. I think that we need to expand majorly because Braille's goal is to teach people how to skateboard. The purpose is to expand the sport of skateboarding into the largest sport in the world. And the way to do that is by teaching people and making like what you guys do, making entertaining content for people who don't skate also. And just having like a fun, positive environment for people to learn how to do it, to grow with it and whatever, and master this amazing craft and skill. So
she was careful not to call it a sport there, you know?
No, I wasn't thinking about that. I was thinking of how did I describe it earlier because it sounded cool when I described it earlier. But so you and I have talked about this, but what I'd like to do and what I'd like to see is, except for I don't know how much I should talk about it because I don't want people to steal my ideas.
I have an interesting viewpoint on that as well.
Well, yeah, I think that we should create a team of Braille certified instructors that they themselves have gotten through, like they've watched all of the Skateboarding Made Simple volumes. They know the step-by-step way to actually accomplish each trick.
Very specific.
Very specific. It's a technology. It's literally like 1, 2, 3, and you just drill that and you practice it over and over again until you master that one trick. But I feel like every instructor needs to be fully certified through all of Skateboarding Made Simple. And obviously various other things, like make sure that they should be working with kids and would be a positive influence. Like very, very ethical, moral, high quality instructors. And we literally have instructors all over the world, Braille instructors, and kids can learn because it's hard sometimes. Like if I'm doing an exercise video and I'm like trying to do some pose or something where I'm like supposed to have my head down, I can't like listen to what the chick is saying on the TV and like know how to position my body. It's just too hard.
Right.
Obviously, like you get some exercise done that way, but I feel like it's really difficult, especially when you're skating. What do you prop your phone up and like, you know, there's only so many times you can watch the tutorial and watch the SMS or whatever, and it's good, and at least we have that.
Right.
But if you had someone on the ground being instantaneously like, listen, this is what you're doing wrong, let's fix it.
Right.
Anyway, I think that we should do that. I think that that's like a big way that Braille can expand. The whole purpose of us being here is teaching people to skate.
That's right.
So to me, that's like a major direction we should go in.
Yeah, I completely agree. And we've been trying to do that for a long time. And we have made definite, like, what I would say, like forward progress and moves in that. But then we've also had some things happen where it's like, directions away from that. And I don't mean to make that like a mysterious thing. Like, for example, we do like a bunch of toys in Target, which is cool and that's fun. And that does help bring new people into skateboarding. And you could even like the way it was sort of put forward was like, you will reach a lot of people with your brand that then will then learn how to skate, even though we're not directly teaching them to skate. But that is a little bit like, why don't we just directly teach them?
Right.
So I did make the course already. I haven't even like announced it or put it on the internet.
Right.
Probably by the time this podcast goes live, it will be already on the Braille website to become a Braille certified instructor.
Yeah.
Because it won't just be people that work with me. It will be also just like, you want to get a Braille certified instructor certificate? You want to do lessons in your hometown park of Botswana or wherever you live?
Yeah.
You can just do it online.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been one of those the really hard thing with Braille is me constantly figuring out, how do I best teach a new person? How do I take a person from brand new, knows nothing about skateboarding, all the way through to landing the kickflip? That's the goal.
I feel like we should have BrailleCon and have like a bunch of people come and do like get through the course.
Yeah.
Here at the warehouse.
It's like a good idea.
Have like 100 or 200 people come for like a week.
And I would also like shops to come. See, this is a big reason why I had the podcast, because I need to learn more about how the industry works, how the shop works.
Yeah.
Like I have this thing that I built with this huge map of the world and all this, like I can teach people how to skateboard. I really think I can teach anyone how to skateboard.
Yeah.
But how do we then how do we use the shops? How do we work with the shops to build the local community in the shops?
Right.
How is skateboarding even, how has it been growing, and how do we use what's already there to keep it growing?
Yeah.
That's why I talk a lot about like, how do we get some like thing into the schools, stuff like that.
That would be cool.
That would be very cool.
The other thing I want to see though too is just more, I want to get the First Try Foundation really going as well, because I want to both, I want to create that big impact in the world. And I feel like we want to grow the sport of skateboarding. But also I want to use the First Try Foundation too, to just create some goodwill for Braille, because we are
and for skateboarding, period.
Well, for skateboarding and for skateboarding because I feel like also if there's a group of people out there that aren't really into skateboarding or whatever, and there's things that we're doing to like help their community and introduce them to this field.
Yeah.
And we're helping the community, like that definitely does shed positive light on skateboarding in general and will help bring more people into it. But also, specifically for Braille. And I want people to know like that is the foundation of who you are. Like, you know what I'm saying? And me. And so I definitely want to do more on that end too. Like I want to help more people. I want to help more kids in need. I want to help get more kids on skateboards that can't afford it. I want to go into like those, inner city areas that don't really have a lot going for them in terms of sports or athleticism or whatever.
Yeah, or maybe even just a positive role model. Like I was saying, you never know who in this person's life would never be there to say, hey, you got this.
Right.
It's
Exactly.
such a simple thing.
Right.
You can do this.
Yeah.
You can have a future.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
and some of those times is rough. Which
Our
reminds me of
oldest-
this story where these are all the questions. There's lots.
I want to pick some.
You
Sorry.
can't pick these.
But you were going to say, I want to pick them. Yeah.
So Danny and I went to dinner the other night, and we were at this restaurant, and the manager of the restaurant actually came over, and she said, you know, some of my employees were telling me who you are and what you do, and I want to let you know that, like, here's my card and here's my number, and if you ever want to, like, run a contest and bring some underprivileged youth here and they can get a free meal, then
Right.
it will be on the restaurant.
Right.
And there's just so many cool things that just, like, occur like that. And I think
Yeah.
that that's the kind of stuff that you get, that you receive when you're creating good effects. Like,
Right.
try, like, I also just want to say, like, I also don't, I don't make the perfect moves every time, all the time either.
Sure.
And I do things that sometimes there are mistakes,
Yeah.
which reminds me of one of those great questions in there. What is your least favorite Braille video?
Well, here's also what's funny. What
Yeah.
people don't know is I haven't watched very many Braille videos.
The truth comes out.
I mean, I've watched a bunch. Don't get me wrong. Of course, I've watched more than your
So-
average non-skater girl.
No
you know?
way. They're
But-
watching. What's your least favorite video?
I don't know how to answer that, honestly.
Pick the video you like the least.
I mean, I honestly don't know how to answer that.
I know your answer.
What is it? What's my answer?
Any thumbnail where I'm going like this. Or
Oh yeah.
she
But-
hates the thumbnails.
It's not because it makes you look so weird.
Yeah, because I am so weird.
No, but like even like your face just looks super red and your eyes look super red and
Yeah.
like shiny, but that's not actually what he looks like
Yeah.
in real life. But
Yeah.
like the
I don't know
mouth
what-
shot
Yeah.
on everything. But that's not the video. That's
I
the
know, but
thumbnail.
that's kind of your answer anyway.
That's funny.
But the other thing that you really dislike in the videos is dangerous things. I think your actual least favorite video is jumping the mega ramp with the glass skateboard. She was mad at me. She was hot.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, I wouldn't say like quality of video. Obviously, like that's like exciting and it creates a lot of engagement or whatever, but I definitely get pissed when you do things that are super dangerous.
Yes.
But then I see it on video and you never told me about it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
then
that's what happens.
That's like super not okay.
Yeah, we'll do a video. Glass skateboard over the big gap is a prime example.
Yeah.
We just made the video with Elliot Sloan. Shout out Elliot Sloan. And it's kind of an interesting thing because I know that this is one of the foremost best athletes in the literal world. And if
Mhm.
anybody can do this stunt, it will be him. And I know that he won't put himself in a situation where he could get very seriously injured because he knows his sport and he knows the technical aspects of what's required to do that down to the precision millimeter.
Sure.
So if he goes, oh, this board, it can handle this, and I've tried on that, then it can handle that. I guarantee it. Bada boom, bada bing. I'm not saying
Yeah.
he wasn't scared. I'm not saying it wasn't an incredible feat because it was literally incredible.
Yeah.
So, but yes, that scenario would never have occurred if Braille skateboarding didn't exist.
Right.
You wouldn't have gotten a glass skateboard at the mega ramp and
Yeah.
jumped the ramp. So yes, that is full my responsibility, And sometimes people get hurt at the warehouse and it's just like, man, it's something that can't really be avoided. It's also part of skateboarding.
Yeah. But
And,
ironically, the Braille drop is like so dangerous.
Super dangerous.
Like, you should never allow anyone to do that again.
I would never will. You're right.
Okay.
Do you know what we did yesterday?
I don't want to know.
Somebody jumped off it with no shoes.
Oh, yeah. You told me about that.
Shout out Ebon Turner.
Okay. So, now, but here's the funny thing. I don't have like a least favorite Braille video.
Do you have a
Like,
most favorite Braille video?
I don't remember what they're called is the problem.
Just describe what happened in it.
I laughed a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In what video?
I don't remember. There's a
Christmas
bunch of them.
tree flying through the roof.
Definitely.
I think that's the funniest video.
That
we've
one
ever
was
made.
really funny for sure. That was really funny. I don't know if that was my favorite.
Yeah.
I loved actually, oddly enough, the video where you were like skating around San Francisco being Santa Claus.
Yeah. Nobody else liked that video, but
and
you
Batman.
did. Oh, Batman was so good. I don't know why.
I
thought
the Santa Claus one and giving kids skateboards and toys and whatever.
Yeah, it's cool. I love that.
Yeah. And the Batman one was really funny.
It was so good.
It was
I
so
literally
good.
dressed
Go
up
watch the Batman video.
Yeah. It just didn't get enough love.
I know.
But I dressed up in a Batman costume. I thought this was
His voice was really good.
Major viral. And I would go around and skate these buildings where I knew I was going to get kicked out.
Yeah. I think this is my favorite video.
The security guards would come out and I would be like,
I'm Batman.
No, I wouldn't. I would say, do you know who I am?
Right.
And they'd say like, yeah, I guess you're Batman.
But like dead serious.
Yeah,
though.
dead serious.
Like they must have thought you were crazy.
Oh, because I am crazy. And then I was like, the Joker's on the roof. I must land this kickflip. And they'd be like, you can't skate here or something,
Right.
But then some of the security guards were too scared to come out.
Right.
They were like, okay, this psychopath in a Batman
Literally
costume.
thought you were totally nuts.
And it's just so, I thought it was so funny.
I love that.
And then I'd be
video.
like literally right in the middle of the security guard being super serious, kicking me out. And I would just go, disappear. And then I would take the bat cape and I just put it over my head. I thought that was brilliant.
That one's like definitely in my top.
Yeah,
that one is really funny.
Yeah, I used to just get these wild ideas and I would just go make the video and it didn't matter. Now it's almost down to an art of a science of like people love the weird board.
Yeah, like what are people gonna respond to? I know.
But I hate that. I want to just go back to what do I want to make?
There's so much pressure.
There's so much
writing
pressure.
on every video. I know. See, I think that's the thing that I like. That's what I like don't like is I can see like when you get stressed out and stuff, because now like our whole business is around, it's like, it's our whole livelihood. Everything is around like whether you make a good video or not.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, truthfully.
That's what it feels like.
And I think there's a big misconception of just like, well, you have 5 million subscribers. You're just rich with money oozing out of the windows.
Definitely not rich.
Right.
For sure.
It's not to say that we haven't made money and we haven't, I feel so.
But we're definitely not rich.
But yeah, I also have to contrast that with like where I was when I couldn't afford.
That's true. When you couldn't get a pizza and you had to get your mom to call one for you.
Yeah, it's like the saddest, not sad, but it's just like it's a huge contrast. But then I also think about this, like some of the best times of our life was when, I read this other meme, the memes that describe my life meme the other day that was like, I was talking to my dad about, his girl who has a dad who like had this business and he was very wealthy. And then the dad says, yeah, but the best times that your mom and I ever had was when we were scrounging up money to try and figure out where we could where we could get a pizza. Why does it always come back to pizza? Because it's the best.
Right.
But yeah, it's also funny. Like it doesn't mean that like having money doesn't like make your life the best thing that you ever might. There are more important things than money, period.
For sure. Yeah, I know. When we were living just in the apartment in Daly City, and it was just the two of us, and we'd like, make all of our lunches and dinners.
And I think back to that and I think, it was
so nice. I know.
What a simple life. What a nice, easy way to live. And now there's so much stress and pressure, but also with the same amount of stress and pressure, I do have a bigger influence and I'm creating a bigger, better, more positive effect than I created. So you take the good with the bad and it's all part of it.
It's definitely better now for sure. Yeah. Absolutely. Anyway.
But boy, sometimes is it so stressful.
Mm-hmm.
Did you find any good ones?
Does your wife do any special activities? Ooh. I like that one because then...
Hit me with it.
Well, I really like to cook.
Yeah, you're a good cook.
How good?
So good. In fact, my parents just came and visited and my mom was like, you're spoiled. And I was like, yeah, I am really spoiled because my wife is making all the food and I'm just eating it and doing the dishes.
But I love to cook and I love to like just experiment with things.
Yes.
And like, yeah, so I love to cook and I become better and better at it every day.
Yes.
And then I also love to sing. And I also love fashion.
Fashion.
I love fashion. I love to sing. I love to cook, and I love music.
Yes. She's a very good singer. She doesn't want anybody to know that.
That's not true. I just won't sing in front of people.
Bada
You
boom.
can know that I'm a good singer. Just
know it. You'll never hear her, but just know.
Yeah.
Maybe sometime you will hear her. We were talking about my wife singing a song for my next video part. So I do the skateboarding tricks. We pick a song. She does a cover of it. She sings the song, which I think would be the most cool, like heartfelt, incredible thing that we could create as a married couple. And I think we should do that.
Yeah, we should. We just got to find a song.
Yeah.
Put it in the comments below.
Yeah, leave the song in the comments below. There'll be some really funny songs.
Yeah, that's great. Actually, I'm excited for that, to see what people say.
Well, we're like 2 hours into this.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I have some more questions here.
Mm-hmm.
First question, do you like skate?
Yes.
Good. Happiest moment from childhood?
Whoa. My God, that is like really hard to answer.
Yeah.
God, so many random things are coming to my mind. I thought of like a couple things, but these are definitely, I wouldn't categorize them as like my happiest moments. So it's a little.
I think the best way to answer things like this, first thing that comes to mind. And then you overthink it if you go into much more than that.
Yeah, it's true. So I don't know. I mean, I was thinking about this time when I was at school and we like had to come up with this performance.
Yeah.
And basically like me and my like I made this whole performance from scratch. Like I designed the whole thing. It was like I was going to have me and my two friends in clown costumes and I was going to play like this circus music on the keyboard.
Yeah.
This is so random.
Yeah. I like it.
And then I was going to juggle and I was going to have like my other two friends do something. And what's funny is the reason I decided to do this is because I learned to play this like intro to circus music on the keyboard. And I was like, oh, I'm going to center this whole thing around this one little like piano line I learned.
Yeah.
And I did. And it was amazing. And I was like in like this crazy outfit and pigtails and like big shoes. And I played this circus song and I juggled for everybody. Yeah.
You never told me you could juggle.
Yeah, I can juggle.
No way.
I can juggle. I mean, I
Okay.
have small hands. So.
I better see some juggle later. Okay. What do you love as much as Aaron loves skateboarding?
My dogs.
Wow. What a good answer that was.
Yeah.
Do you ever have to ask Aaron to talk about something other than what's going on in his company?
I never have to ask him to talk about something else. Like, he's not like 24/7 talking about it, but obviously we talk about it a lot.
Yeah.
But it doesn't bother me because it's like a major part of our life.
Right.
So I don't have to ask him to talk about something else.
Right. Okay. Do you have a favorite skateboard trick?
There's something about like a late flip
Yeah.
that is so cool to me.
Really?
Like, I don't know. Is that what I'm talking about? Where it literally looks like there's a pause in midair and then the person pushes the board down?
Yeah, that's right.
I love that.
Really?
I don't know. I think it's so cool. I literally feel like they're stopping time.
Because maybe they are.
But that's what it looks like. That's like so cool to me.
So I just recently did this late flip. Let's see what you think about it.
Is that a late flip?
Oh, burn. You guys heard that? Yeah.
Oh, maybe that's not what I'm talking about.
Nollie late flip.
I think that's not what I'm talking about.
Oh, how can you describe it then? Your description of it.
Is that a late flip? I'm sorry.
I do it pretty fast, but yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, it's a late flip.
Okay, fine. That's not what I'm talking about. I mean,
I knew that was going to happen.
but no, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I do. Well, your description of it, I think it is that because they're pop up,
where it
pause.
pauses, and it's literally looks like the Matrix.
Yeah.
And it's paused, and then the person like shoves the board down, and I'm like, what just happened?
I told you she doesn't like my skateboarding. She likes
That's
the
not
skateboarding.
true. That's not true.
It's okay. That was good.
There's something about that's so
That you like that
attractive to me.
Oh, okay.
Not in that way. I mean, the trick is attractive.
I got what you said. I'm going to learn a bunch of late flips. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So that reminds me of another thing that I wanted to ask you is we made this video where we were doing a bunch of tricks and you had to guess the names of the tricks.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
I do.
Okay. So my question is to you as an outside non-skateboarder person, how hard is it to learn the skateboard tricks?
Like from view?
No, just how hard is it to learn it, period?
Learn to do them?
Learn to do them, what they are, because there's no book, there's no like skateboard
I feel like
dictionary.
You need to, yeah, exactly. You need to know, there should be a skateboard dictionary, first of all.
Yeah.
And every single trick should be filmed in slow motion.
Right.
And so people can see.
Right.
But like
this needs to be part of the Braille app. We've been working on it for 93 years.
And the direction that people are going in, and like front side, back side, like that stuff is so confusing to me.
Right.
So, I mean, it's like a complete different language.
Yeah.
But I feel like the people that are doing it, it's, they've obviously learned it.
Yeah,
I don't know how.
They've been doing it for so long. It's just like part of what they know.
Yeah, but I think of like a kid. How does a kid learn that?
Yeah.
Like, I'm a new person to skateboarding. Yeah. It took me forever, and I probably still don't even understand, like, what is nollie, or like, what is...
Yeah, nollie, fakie, switch, regular.
Right.
Yeah, so here's my question. Do you think that makes it harder for people to start? Do you think that's a deterrent from people starting skateboarding that we could solve?
100%.
So what do we do?
I think that the basic terms need to be really, really cleared up. Like, they're going to hear all these things at the skate park and feel so dumb.
Yeah.
Like, they'll feel so dumb, out of place. Like, just by teaching them, like, the lingo and, like, what each of the words mean, like, nollie, fakie, switch, regular, goofy, whatever, front side, back side. Like, because you have like a kickflip, or you have an ollie, or you have like the basic trick, but then you have like what describes the direction, what describes if you're riding it the wrong way, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, I feel like kids would really appreciate learning that stuff and would feel less out of place. I would hate to think that someone at like a skate park is making fun of somebody who doesn't know what a trick is called. You know what I mean? Of course,
that happens every day.
Totally.
All
but
over
that's so
social
sad
media becomes this toxic environment.
Couldn't figure it out if you paid me $50 million.
Right.
Well, I would definitely figure it out then, but
it is an interesting thing where it's like, it is a deterrent. It is very tough. It's a difficult thing to overcome. Okay. Right. So we can try and improve upon that for sure. What's up, everyone? Let me take a quick break here to tell you about Braille Army Plus, the membership platform designed by me to teach you how to ride a skateboard. Have you ever been wondering, man, if I just knew the correct technique to do this kickflip, I could get it? Or maybe you thought to yourself, if I just had Aaron Kyro to teach me how to ollie, I know I could land this. Well, I designed the Braille Army Plus membership for that thing specifically. You sign up on brailleskateboarding.com/army, and you can get started messaging me on the members only Discord right away. You can send me a clip and ask me, hey Aaron, what am I doing wrong with this? And I will tell you the exact technique, the exact practice step. I'll even tell you exactly what you should be doing each and every day to improve in your skateboarding over a long period of time. If you're practicing the correct tricks in the correct way, I 100% guarantee that you will be progressing on your skateboard. So join the best group on the entire internet and join Braille Army Plus. brailleskateboarding.com/army. I'll see you in there shredding. Thanks for checking it out, and now back to the interview. Okay, what is the biggest risk you ever took that paid off?
I don't have an answer for that, honestly.
That's okay.
I mean,
I thought you were going to say marrying me.
Totally, but that's, to me, that was like not a risk.
It wasn't?
No.
Not in the slightest.
No, not at all.
Hmm.
I didn't feel like that was a risk. I feel like that's what I would, that's the only potential answer. But
yeah. The only potential answer.
Like, it wasn't a risk. Obviously, I guess, yeah. Well, actually, that's a really good way of putting it, because too, like, I married you, like, not knowing really anything about skateboarding, not knowing what our future was going to be like or anything. And I just obviously loved you and wanted to be with you. So then obviously, to my surprise, we are where we are now. And so I guess that could be like a risk that paid off.
Yeah.
I mean, we had no money. We're living like paycheck to paycheck. You were valet parking cars. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I feel like, yeah, sure, that's a risk that paid off.
Okay. So it was a risk to marry me. Just kidding.
Well,
I'm just digging the hole
you
deeper.
know what I'm saying.
I know exactly what you're saying. And I also know how to dig the hole deeper very well, as you know. Okay, so if parallel timelines exist, what do you hope you're doing in your alternate universe right now?
That is so cool.
Yeah, I agree.
I am hoping that I'm like a very big public figure that is helping people in a big way. Like, I'm like, yeah, like I don't know how exactly, but I feel like that would be my alternate life, would be like a very big public figure helping planet Earth, like all of mankind, doing something that creates a huge impact.
Good. I like that. It's interesting because it reminds me of the story when we did go to that UK meet and greet, and I'm there with like hundreds of kids. It's very overwhelming as well.
Yeah.
Being the person that's sitting there with the pen signing hundreds of skateboards, being surrounded 360 degrees. And then afterwards, you're filming and you're there. And then she would see like this kid. She would go, that kid needs help with his kickflip. Go help him. That kid needs help with an ollie. Go help him. We're not leaving here until that kid can land the kickflip. We're not leaving here until you. And then she would go literally like this. You have not said hi to that kid over there, and it's been half an hour. And then I would be like, I'm sorry. I'm trying to get to everybody. I'm doing the best I can. But I think that really shows that like your kindness towards people and what you want to see occur.
Yeah.
You know? And that's good.
I mean, I literally feel like that's the only reason we're here.
Yeah.
Like, what other reason is there?
Right.
Other than helping people,
right.
You know?
Right. It is true. It is a very interesting thing. And you know, there's that other saying that like behind a good man is a good woman. Behind every good man is a good woman, or something like that.
Yeah.
I love these cheesy quotes. They're all over my Instagram, you know? And I think there's a lot of truth in that as well. And sometimes hearing the things that you say, I go like, man, was that my viewpoint or did I get that from you?
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I think it was my viewpoint and I got it from you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like I don't know, there's a certain level of like, almost like a certain level of like, almost like a selflessness of like, you know, you get to this point. And this is kind of my viewpoint with these meet and greets as well, is like, I go to this place, all of these kids are there to see me, but it doesn't mean that I'm more special or something other than what those kids are. Every single one of those kids could do the same thing that I'm doing, and I hope that some of them will.
Right.
And I hope just to be the person that's there to say, you can do this. Like, believe in yourself enough to where you can do something that you would love to do. Like in my TED Talk, I talk about the passion that I have for skateboarding.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people have a passion. I am a firm believer that everyone has a passion.
Yeah.
But then the world around them, the environment, maybe the school that they went to, maybe their friends, maybe their family, push them into, you can't make a living off your passion.
Yeah.
And I think that's a lie.
Yeah, totally. I think that's the best way to make a living because you are so passionate about it. You can make anything go right.
Yeah.
I think, like you said, the only reason someone wouldn't is because someone crush their dreams or
Yeah.
something
At some point, they had some viewpoint where they as a little kid, I want to be a fireman. And then they tried to get to become a fireman and they got fired from the first place they went to become a fireman at. And then they went, I'm a failure. I'll never do it.
Right.
And there needs to be somebody there going, you're actually not a failure. You can fail 1,000 million times before you finally succeed. And, you hear all these stories as well, like famous authors that had never published a book before. And then at the age of 45, now they're like one of the most famous authors in the world.
Right.
All these stories. And you go, it's just there. That's real. To me, that's very real. I don't know how we got on that topipic, but
it was like
important.
what I would do in a parallel universe.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And then this is from shout out Tom Kelly, producer of the Braille Drop podcast. Said there could be a fun game where you give 2 real skate trick names and a fake one, and she has to guess which one is the fake.
Okay, let's do it. I'm super ready.
LOL. I have to come up with this on the spot. I meant to write this down beforehand.
Let's go.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Hurricane, frontside flip, Daffy flip.
Hurricane.
Nope.
Daffy flip.
That's right.
Dang it.
Okay. Failure. Okay.
Thanks.
Man, it's hard to think of a fake name.
Mm-hmm.
No, you're not a failure. You're greatness. Pure greatness. Okay, let me try and think of some more fake skateboard names. Soul Grind, Backside Smith, Grind, Crooked Grind. Which one of those is not a skateboard trick?
Soul Grind?
Ding, 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 ding. We got a winner.
Okay.
Winner, chicken dinner. Okay. You won one and you lost one. Now this is the tiebreaker.
Okay.
Okay. Man, some of the things that I'm thinking are like could be skateboard tricks or kind of conveyed as that. Let's see here. Backside Disaster, Casanova Flip, Bobble Flip.
Backside Disaster.
Wrong.
I don't know. Bobble Flip?
Yeah. It's close.
The way you paused on every one of them.
I know. Did that on purpose. Tricky. Okay.
That's fine. Let's move on.
Yeah. You're like, oh, I'm so excited to play this. I don't like this game anymore. But that's skateboarding, I'm telling you.
Yeah, why are there 1,000 trick names?
It
just keep it simple, guys.
It's just literally the way that it evolved.
I know, but what one of them you fart, so then it's called something different.
No.
Do you know what I'm saying?
There's no change for the fart.
No, I know, but what I mean is like it's a kick flip, but then if you move your foot 1 centimeter to the left, it's a bobble flip. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well,
whatever.
To us, it's so specific and it's so exact.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about.
Do you know there was a skateboard video where Owen Wilson was in it?
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
And it's a funny story because some skateboard filmmakers knew him and said, hey, I'm going to send you this script. Could you do this little skit for our video? It's like a skit that they would do in 10 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Very small. And then he says, yeah, send the script over. And then he writes this message back and he says, there's no way I can learn this in a day. This is an entirely different language.
Right.
Yeah. And it's so good. The video is so good.
That's funny.
They're pretending
I'll have to watch it.
Yeah, they're pretending like he's a skater and he's talking about tricks that he would have done at famous spots.
Right.
And he's saying like front side salad, backside salad, front.
Is that a trick?
Yeah.
A salad.
Yeah. Salad.
What's a salad?
Salad grind.
What's a salad grind?
It's just like a backside. It's not backside. It's a 5-0 that's basically a crooked 5-0. See, you get into these things.
So what's a crooked grind then?
Backside can be front side as well, but it's on the nose. It's a nose grind that is crooked.
So what's a 5-0?
Rather than a nose grind that's straight. A 5-0 is a grind on your back truck.
Got it.
You see,
so nose grind.
Nose
and
grind.
5-0.
Yes.
Okay.
Nose grind on the front truck, 5-0 on the back truck.
Too many names.
I know. It's very, very difficult.
I feel like this is harmful to skateboarding.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
And that's part of the thing that I go.
But that's my viewpoint, not as a skater.
That's the viewpoint, period.
Right.
Because who are we trying to reach? People that are not skaters.
Yeah. Like who are we trying to communicate to?
Yeah. So, but the interesting thing is, I also heard another interesting story the other day, is the biggest boom in skateboarding ever came right after Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1. And it was pointed out to me, Aaron, for the first time ever in the history of our activity, sport, lifestyle, whatever you want to call it, millions of people got to learn the names of the tricks and what they looked like.
Right.
And I was like, whoa, I never thought of that before.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So now I'm almost like, maybe I just make 1,000 videos teaching the name of every trick, what it looks like, why it's called that, the derivation of where it came from, which,
Genius.
Yeah.
You should do that.
Yeah, I need to.
It could even just be little short videos.
Yeah. Well, there's this thing that's on the internet now called Shorts, which reminds me another thing.
Oh.
You're not even on social media.
I made a LinkedIn account the other night.
A LinkedIn account.
Hit me up.
Hit me up on LinkedIn.
But no.
But why are you not on social media? I'm on social media everywhere.
Right. So to be fair, like I do have the dog's Instagram on my phone, but it's mainly because I don't have any, I don't follow.
Why don't you have your own Instagram where you post your own photos about yourself?
So early on when Instagram first came out, I did do that. I did have an Instagram for maybe about a year. And honestly, I just felt terrible about myself.
Yeah.
I was constantly thinking about who was looking at my pictures and what they would think of them. And it was so unhealthy. I just immediately deleted it and wanted nothing to do with that ever again.
Yeah.
So having the dogs, obviously I'm not posting photos of myself. I'm also 35 years old, so I don't really have attention on that.
Yeah.
But it's
different time in your life.
Totally. But even still, I feel like social media can be really, really, really good, and it can be really, really, really bad.
Yep.
So
tell me about it.
So if I felt that way, I can't even imagine what kids are feeling these days. That feeling for me was so bad.
Yeah.
So that's when I totally just went off Instagram.
Yeah, I feel for them. When I grew up and when we were in high school, there was no social media.
Right.
And I think what would it have been like if I had an Instagram?
Right.
And in high school, and I imagine, the bullying that went on in high school was already hard enough, let alone the bullying that would go on cyberbullying online.
Yeah.
Multiply it by 1,000%.
I just thought of a golden story for this podcast.
Yeah.
So remember the whole Lance story and MySpace?
No, tell me.
I told you this story.
Tell me the story.
Remember?
I do remember. Tell the story.
Isn't this a golden story?
I don't totally know what you're talking about, but tell the story.
But I was thinking, this is how I got to this, is because I had a MySpace page.
Yes.
MySpace was awesome.
Slamming. Shout out Tom from MySpace.
It was Tom was always your first friend, and then you had to rank your friends. That was so cool. But also really bad.
Yeah, ranking your friends.
But I only had 10 friends. I didn't Anyway, so I knew Lance before Aaron ever knew Lance. Lance and I went to school together.
Yeah.
So Lance, on the back of his MySpace page, was a Charizard from Pokemon.
Yeah.
Remember this?
Yeah.
My dad, so I was really young. I don't remember how old I was. My dad, a long time ago, bought me a pack of Pokemon cards. This is crazy story.
Yeah.
Bought me a pack of Pokemon cards from 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
Inside that, and I never played Pokemon. Didn't know anything about it.
Right.
Opened it up, and there was a holographic Charizard card.
Leave it in the comments below how much a very first edition holographic Charizard card would be worth today.
I don't even want to know.
Yeah.
So I don't think it was first edition, but it was very early on in Pokemon.
Yeah.
So, okay, but here's what happened. Everyone, oh my God. Yeah, I can't believe I forgot about this story. So what happened, are you looking it up now?
Just tell the story.
Okay. What happened is I had a huge crush on Lance.
Yeah.
And I saw that he had a Charizard on his background of his MySpace page.
Yeah.
And so I literally wrote him a letter basically saying like that I liked him. And I sent him the Charizard card.
No way. What
the
year was
effing
this?
Charizard card. I think it must have been like 2003 or 2004. No, don't tell me. We looked it up later.
It's like $13,000.
Okay, the one that we looked up, it was like 30,000.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm sure there's different
And I found
values.
the most expensive one. Yeah.
What is it?
Oh, there's one here that says, 28,000.
Yeah.
Holographic
Anyway.
Charizard Pokemon card sells for more than 300,000.
So,
but I guess Lance was worth a shout out, Lance.
Shout out Lance. So
Yeah, that's why they call him
he
Lance
never wrote
the
me
Romance.
back, by the way. He never wrote me back.
Yeah.
But I sent him this letter with my holographic Charizard card to show him how much I liked him.
Yeah.
And
all the girls liked Lance. His funny thing is like a lot of girls had crushes on Lance, but he was always struggling to get a girlfriend.
Well, okay, but this is like
shout out Lance.
Way earlier than that. Also,
of course,
Lance is married now. Shout out Lance.
Yeah, Lance is doing very well. For anybody who is wondering, he got married and has a beautiful wife, and he's doing really well.
Yeah, he's doing great. But yeah, so we did talk about it later.
And you had a good laugh over the Charizard card.
Totally. And obviously then you guys became like really close friends and he
and then I was like, no, stop hitting on my wife.
No, that never happened. But this was, I was probably like maybe, I want to say 15.
Yeah.
Or maybe, probably around 15 years old, maybe 16 when I sent this to him.
That's pretty old, Dani.
I know.
That's just barely before we met.
I was probably 15.
Yeah.
No, I must have been 14.
I was going to say it probably was earlier than that.
It was probably 14.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry, that was silly. 13 or 14.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that happened. So, and he doesn't know where the card is.
Lance, you lost the Charizard card? We could sell it for more than $300,000.
I know. Speaking of social media. So after that terrible incident.
So then you just were like, no social media.
Yeah, but then also the other experience I had is I had made a Facebook page and like the first person to friend me was someone who is not my friend at all. And I instantly deleted my Facebook page.
Whoa.
Because then I was like, you know what? This is not real. Like, I don't want to be friends with people I'm not friends with. My friends, I like hang out with them. I see them. I call them. I write them.
Yeah, it is kind of an interesting thing, But I think it's such a, like you were saying.
It's different for you. It's different for you.
Totally.
Like, I'm not like
but that's why I think it's a cool thing to talk about.
Yeah.
It's very, very polar opposite.
Right.
I have my entire life on social media. It's all out there, just blasted out there.
Right.
I think, just like you said, it could be very, very good or very, very bad.
Right.
But I think there's an important lesson there that we can tell people is don't judge yourself based on what you see on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
Right.
You do never know. You might see somebody and you go.
And don't worry about what other people think about you.
Don't
give any hex.
That's a nice way to put it. Just don't care because you never know what is real.
Terrible.
And you just don't know what's real.
Just be happy.
Yeah, easier said than done.
I know, but just be.
Pick your goal, choose what that is, and strive to achieve that goal on any level. But if you're looking at other people and going, oh, they're doing so much better than me.
Yeah.
It's probably a lie. Fake.
Totally.
There's a lot of fake out there.
Right.
You gotta just be real.
See. Yeah, exactly. That's right. Anyway.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
We could go on about this for hours.
Right.
Okay. I got a great question. I think this is a great question. I think you'll like it very much.
What is it?
Who would play us in the movie about our lives?
Oh my God.
You know actors and actresses very well. I do not. You choose some and I'll choose some as well. Who would play us in the movie about our lives?
Okay. Let me see. You're 6'2".
You're really going into this deep. I just choose some names. Should I go first?
Yeah.
I'll just, like I said earlier, the first person that came to mind that would play you was Jennifer Lawrence. The first
That's so
person,
funny. That was the first person that came to mind in my mind too.
Maybe that's why it came to my mind.
And then who is the dude that you thought of?
Brad Pitt. Why are you laughing? But Brad Pitt from Fight Club, it's very specific time area. Because I'm jacked. You thinking of somebody? That one guy from The Pianist.
I know. That was the first person I thought of, but I don't think he'd be right for this,
What's
honestly.
his name?
Adrian Brody.
Shout out Adrian Brody.
I feel like
some people say this is the Aaron Kyro lookalike.
But he's just got dark hair. You'd have to...
I could dye the hair. Is that what my face looks like? How do you put up with me?
Your face doesn't really look like this, but this is also a very young photo of him.
Oh, so you're saying I look worse?
He's a really good actor, though.
Oh, shout out Adrian Brody.
Anyway, yeah, maybe Adrian Brody and Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah.
I'm sure we could think of better matches.
But that's pretty good.
Yeah. I'm going to be thinking about this all night.
Don't think about it all night. We're going to go to Target and we're going to buy some things that we need, like protein powder and coconut milk, so I can make protein shakes in the morning.
Right.
All right. Well, thank you for coming on the podcast. That was really fun. And I hope you had fun too.
Yeah.
It's nice, right?
Yeah, it's
You just get to talk about stuff.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Not in every video I make do I just get to talk about stuff.
Right.
So I think that's so fun. And for anybody who's listening and or watching this podcast on whatever platform it may be, subscribe, leave a comment if that's a thing on the platform you are on, and we will see you in the very next episode. Thank you guys so much for supporting us, listening to us. You guys are the absolute best.